Bahamians living in South Florida giving the government thumbs up for its enforcement of the new immigration policy. Their concern came out of the negative stories in the print and electronic media that painted a picture unbecoming of the Bahamian people. That's why many Bahamians living in South Florida and officials who do business with the Bahamas came out to hear the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration's explanation as to what was actually taking place and the government's position on the illegal immigration matter. Our Clint was there.
Bahamians and officials connected to the Bahamas living in South Florida attending Saturday night's meeting on the new immigration policy are leaving with a clearer understanding of how the policy works and the necessity of its implementation. It's something Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister Fred Mitchell set out to achieve. He says many Bahamians still struggle to understand the policy.
These are just simple administrative measures. You should have the passport of your nationality. You need to have a residency stamp or residency permission and a work permit to be in the Bahamas. And unfortunately, the fact that you're born in the Bahamas does not give you that right. And so, as harsh as the law is, the fact is, if you don't have a status, you can be in the Bahamas.
And as the minister and his top officers, like the Director of Immigration, William Pratt, seek to clarify and put to rest untruths circulating, they're also moving to address other areas of concern where the policy may require additional support. For example, there are challenges in certain communities in Abaco resisting officials coming in to check the status of persons living there. In fact, the jury is still out on how many Haitians there are living in the Bahamas. Minister Mitchell says estimates have reached as high as 70,000 by persons who have conducted surveys externally. He also pointed out that while they cannot deny education and health care to anyone, there are still measures being put in place to have better documentation going forward for those seeking to enter school.
The requirement is you get your passport, you'll have a resident permit, and that will be evidence that you have a right to be in the Bahamas. And the schools will be asking for it. Right now they ask for a national insurance card. So the requirement, I expect, will be this permit, this new permit.
Will they be rejecting persons who do not have this permit?
Now, I can't speak to education on that. I'm just saying that if education wants to know whether someone has the right to be in the Bahamas and therefore the right to be in school, they'll have that evidence.
Pastor Leslie McMillan, Alexis Snyder, and Consul General Ricardo Treco believes Minister Mitchell did an excellent job of explaining the policy. Pastor McMillan says they needed to know the facts so that he can defend the country against erroneous information from people like Daphne Campbell.
Personally, I felt that she was out of place and that it was just maybe a statement to give a political whatever you mean, political credit. But certainly it would try to affect the Bahamas, but it can't. And that's why we're here to support the government.
The number of illegals are starting to affect the government. It's starting to affect the economy. And it's time that something is done, but it's not specifically targeting a specific group of people. And he made it clear that a lot of the information that we had heard and that we had read about in the paper was erroneous, incorrect information. And I was really happy to hear that he had he met with the Mr. Martelly prior to rolling out the program.
A lot of the persons that I've spoke to here tonight, they say that they have been confronted by persons of Haitian heritage who bring these issues, and now they're going to be able to have the correct information to dispel that. And, people know the Bahamas is a country of beauty and hospitality. That's how we make our living. We are not going to treat anybody in any inhumane way.
And while the government is engaged in what appears to be damage control, back at home, Bahamians appear to be in support of this initiative. A recent survey showed an approval rating of more than 75%. Opposition parties, Free National Movement, and the DNA have also pledged their support with the government in this initiative. In Miami, Florida, Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.